In San Antonio's housing market, we're seeing homes sit on average between 70 and 80 days. Despite the slowdown, there are still a handful of zip codes that are moving relatively fast. But it's worth it to ask the question, how fast is fast? How do these San Antonio zip codes stack up nationally? According to Redfin's September 25 Housing Market Report, the three fastest moving major metros in the country are San Jose, San Francisco, and Detroit. Homes in these markets are selling on average between 19 and 25 days on the market. The national median is around 50 days on market. Now, to be clear, there are smaller markets that are moving faster in the country. Places like Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Buffalo, New York, both have markets that are seeing homes go under contract between 13 and 14 days on the market. But those are small metros with populations under 1 million. Their dynamics don't quite compare or stack up to major markets like San Jose, San Francisco, and Detroit. The top fast-moving markets in the country all share a similar story. Limited supply and strong demand. For example, if we look at San Jose, there are around 1,100 active listings available for purchase in an entire metro that has over 2 million residents. The AI tech boom has kept the market demand high for houses in San Jose. In San Antonio, we're seeing a smaller scale story play out in a few zip codes. For the purposes of this video, I analyzed market data here in San Antonio between October 23rd, 2024 and October 23rd, 2025. I looked at successful pre-owned home sales and failures that sat on the market for 78 days or longer and then expired, were canceled, or withdrawn from sale. From that, I was able to pull a handful of zip codes that are clearly outperforming. 78240, better known as the medical center area. What makes this zip code interesting? Well, there's a large employment base at UT Health San Antonio with over 10,700 employees. The housing stock is primarily 1970s ranch-style homes, moderate home sizes with solid bones and good rehab potential. Here's a fun history fact. The area was once a roughly 100-acre dairy farm in the 1950s. And tucked away in the zip code is Denman Estate Park, where you'll find an authentic Korean pavilion that was hand-built by 13 craftsmen that were flown in from Korea that built it with no nails, only wooden joints and bolts, making it one of few Korean traditional pavilions in the entire country. The data. There were 310 successful sales, 143 failures. 78240 saw a 31% failure rate versus the city's average of 45%. Average days on market at 57. The average sold price, $292,000. Now let's talk about 78249. This is where the UTSA corridor is located. What makes this zip code interesting? Well, UTSA recently merged with UT Health, forming a powerhouse with over 40,000 students and 17,000 employees between the two. The area is known for two major retail and dining hubs, the Rim and La Cantera. Some fun history about the area. La Cantera was once a limestone quarry that, in the early years, helped build much of early San Antonio. In our 12-month analysis, there were 412 successful sales, 137 failures. 78249 saw a 25% failure rate versus the city average of 45%. Average days on market at 68 and an average sold price of $359,000. Moving on to zip code 78247. This is the North Central corridor located in San Antonio. In this zip code, the median household income is around $89,000. Which is a bit higher than the city median of $62,000. Housing stock in this zip code is typically 1970s to 1980s builds with mature trees, large lots, and good bones. Fun history about this area. Once originally pure farmland and ranches in the 1960s, within the span of 30 to 40 years, this area transformed into one of San Antonio's fastest growing suburbs. And the stretch of 1604 that runs through this area was once nicknamed the Death Zone, when it was a dark 2-lane farm road that was notorious for fatal accidents. The data. In our 12-month analysis, there were 546 sales, 247 failures which represents a failure rate of 31% versus the city average of 45%, average days on market 64 versus 78, and an average sold price of $288,000. Last up on our list, zip code 78232. This zip code includes the incorporated city, Hollywood Park, but most of the sales activity in this zip code is actually in the more affordable price neighborhoods like Hidden Forest, Santa Fe Trails, Oak Haven Heights, and Brook Hollow. The data. In our 12-month analysis, there were 337 successful sales, 133 failures, which represents a failure rate of 28% versus the city's average of 45, average days on market 67, and an average sold price of $463,000. Now, what do these 4 zip codes have in common? Anchored employment. Major job centers that don't vanish in a downturn. 2. Strong, proven school districts with track records. 3. Easy access to San Antonio's infrastructure and major highways. And 4. Limited new build competition because builders don't have the raw land to build in mass quantity and undercut the existing home stock in these established areas. With those 4 in place, you've essentially got a predictable market, and that's what separates these zip codes from the rest of the city. If you're actively investing in San Antonio, you should be looking at these 4 zip codes. I track a majority of flips that are happening in the market on Flipper Map. I know which investors are active, what they're paying and what they're selling for, and how fast they're moving. I post weekly videos that can give you an edge in San Antonio's real estate market. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date.